Hare Krishna devotees. Today is the appearance day of Narottam Das Thakur. We'll speak about him. We're going to read Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, and this will be text 22. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, Canto 3, Chapter 4, Text 22. We'll start with the word for word, one word at a time. Yatra
Yatra
Narayana
Narayana
Deva
Deva
Nara
Nara
Cha
Cha
Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Rishi
Rishi
Mridu
Vidu
Tivam
Kivam
Tapa
Tapa
Dirgam
Yodam
Tepate
Tipate
Lokabhavano.
Lokabhavano.
Sanskrit responsively. Yatra Narayano Devo
Yatra Narayano Devo
Narascha Bhagavan Rishi
Narasya Bhagavan Rishi
Mridutivam Tapodirgam
Visuti Vantapodiyagam
Tepate Lokabhavano.
Tipate Lokabhavano.
Yatra Narayano Devo
Yatra Narayano Devo
Narascha Bhagavan Rishi
Narasya Bhagavan Rishi
Mridutivam Tapodirgam
Visuti Vantapodiyagam
Tepate Lokabhavano.
Tipate Lokabhavano.
Yatra Narayano Devo
Yatra Narayano Devo
Narascha Bhagavan Rishi
Narasya Bhagavan Rishi
Mridutivam Tapodirgam
Vinyuti Vantapodiyagam
Tepate Lokabhavano.
Tipate Lokabhavano. Yatra Narayano Devo
Yatra Narayano Devo
Narasya Bhagavan Rishi
Narascha Bhagavan Rishi
Viduti Vantapodiyagam
Mridutivam Tapodirgam
Tipate Lokabhavano.
Tepate Lokabhavano. Would anyone online like to chant the verse? All right, we'll go through the word for word translation. Yatra,
Yatra,
where
where
Narayana, the
Narayana,
personality of Godhead.
personality of Godhead.
Deva,
Deva,
by incarnation.
by incarnation.
Nara,
Nara,
human being.
human being.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Bhagavan, the
Bhagavan,
Lord.
the Lord.
Rishi,
Vishnu,
great sage.
great sage.
Mridu,
Vidu,
amiable to everyone.
amiable to everyone.
Tivram,
Tivam,
severe.
severe.
Tapa,
Tapa,
penance.
penance.
Dirgam,
Yadam,
very long.
Yoga.
Tepate,
Tipate,
performing.
performing.
Loka bhavano,
Lokabhavana,
welfare of all living entities.
welfare of all living entities.
Translation: there in Badarik Ashram, the personality of Godhead in his incarnation as the sages Nara and Narayan has been undergoing great penance since time immemorial for the welfare of all amiable living entities. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Badarik Ashram in the Himalayas, the abode of the Nara Narayan sages, is a great place of pilgrimage for the Hindus. Even up to the present, hundreds and thousands of pious Hindus go to pay respects to the incarnation of Godhead, Nara Narayan. It appears that even 5,000 years ago, this holy place was being visited by such a holy being as Uddhava. And even at that time, the place was known to be very, very old. This particular pilgrimage site is very difficult to visit for ordinary men because of its difficult situation in the Himalayas, or the Himalayas, however you like to say it, in a place which is covered by ice almost all year. A few months during the summer season, people can visit this place at great personal inconvenience. There are four dhammas, or kingdoms of God, which represent the planets of the spiritual sky, which consist of the Brahmajyoti and the Vaikunthas. These are Badarik Ashram, Rameshvara, Jagannath Puri, and Dwarka. Faithful Hindus still visit all these holy places for perfection of spiritual realization, following in the footsteps of devotees like Uddhava. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnanjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharni Nirvashishna Sunyavadi Prasthaya Desatarni. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vatsali Gauravakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare. Thank you all for being here. I'm here at Dear Govinda's house, Dear Home Temple, and Dear Govinda's in Switzerland now with Anandini and Vladini Shakti, and I think also Savya Sachi. What is it? Paramatma is there also, and day 3 of the advanced course there. And today is, more importantly, is the appearance day of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, and I do want to talk about it. I find it's a meditation, I guess, for me, or something, is that I was endeavoring to meditate on, or to have some realization of, or have some insight about, and this will be a class and discussion, so I welcome that we have a discussion about it too. But through this verse mentions the purport, Srila Prabhupada, well, in the verse and the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions Nara Narayan Rishi. And so Nara Narayan Rishi and Narottam Das Thakur, I was like meditating on the connection between these two personalities. I don't have any realization about it, but it's interesting to me. Nara Narayan Rishi and Narottam Das Thakur to consider.
Okay.
That's where I was considering, and I don't have any kind of realization or anything about it. But and so in this verse, so this is kind of just a reorient. So this is Uddhava speaking, right?
This is Uddhava.
So Uddhava is speaking. So he's speaking to Vidura, and he's describing. So Uddhava is on his way to Badarik Ashram, and he's been kind of instructed, signaled, or ordered, or however you want to say, from Krishna, as Krishna was enacting his disappearance pastimes from the planet, that Krishna gave instruction for Uddhava to go to Badarik Ashram. He gave him a message to go and give to the sages and the devotees there, and also to continue to personally associate with Krishna in the form of Nara and Narayan. So this Nara and Narayan. So my understanding is that sometimes it's two, and sometimes it's one, and that the deities there are two. There's like they're like brothers like that in Badarik ashram. So, but sometimes it can be one person, one personality, and we have in the invocation verses. Um, Yeah, Narayanam Naraskritam De Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasat Tato Jayam Udirayet. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. So that's Narayan Rishi is there. And so whenever so Srila Prabhupada actually says that Narayan Rishi is a Shakti-based avatar. Uh, Srila Prabhupada says that. So that's what I was, so that was, we understand also like Srila Prabhupada himself is a Shakti-based avatar. And so that's why I was meditating on Narottam Das Thakur. I don't see Prabhupada saying specifically Narottam Das Thakur is a Shakti-based avatar, but still we can assume or accept him as a Shakti-based avatar. So there's at least one connection between these two personalities, so Narayan Rishi and Narottam Das Thakur.
Also the now.
Nara, yes,
Now in Yemen.
Narottam. Yes, there you go. See, Nara, so Narayan Rishi and Narottam. Yes. So I find it also interesting that Prabhupada uses Hindus here in this purport, and because he doesn't often use Hindus in describing like devotees or whatever. But I think my understanding is because what he's talking about is like this place, Badarik Ashram, being that hundreds of thousands of pious Hindus go to pay respects, and also Prabhupada speaking about the four Dhammas, or kingdoms of God, which represent the planets of the spiritual sky, Bhadarikashram, Rameshvara, Jagannath Puri, and Dvarka. That I think my sense is like when he's saying Hindus, he's referring that this is not just Hare Krishna, not just Hare Krishna, that this is like it's universal. It's like universal outside of just even Vaishnavas. That these places are places of pilgrimage for all Indians or lots of different people. That's my kind of speculation, perhaps. But so yeah, I'm understanding that so this Badarik Ashram. So I was learning about this, that these four places, the Badarik Ashrams like in the far north of India, um, in the Himalayas, and then there's so Narayan Rishi is there, uh, and then in the south of India, so it's like a very northern tip of India, like northern part of India, in the Himalayas, is Badarik Ashram, and in the very south is Rameshvara, which is kind of in the region of the bridge that Lord Ram constructed to reach Lanka to rescue Sita, and that Lord Ram himself established that temple there, established a deity of Shiva, like a Shiva lingam, I think. Okay. Well, so this name Rameshvara is a name for Shiva, but it means it's a Shiva temple there, but it's denoting him as worshiper of Ram. That's that's what my understanding. So and then Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is on the east coast, like the beach. Maybe that's kind of close to the beach on the east coast of India. Jagannath Puri. So that's where Lord Jagannath resides. Subhadra and Baladev, and they're also famous and worshipable for us because of Lord Chaitanya enacting his, you know, Antya Leela pastimes there. And then Dvarka. So Dvarka is in the west coast of India, and that's where Krishna resided with his 16,108 queens in Dvarka uh, as king, as king. So it's the north, south, east, and west tips of India, and there's lots of interesting things I read about those things, but I think notable for us is, and I think that I was thinking from this is because Prabhupada is making a point. I think making a point, and I've read that yeah, these are pilgrimage places, not just for Vaishnavas or even Hare Krishnas, and that, but it's notable that three
Pious Indian.
pious Indians, yeah, okay.
Without elevation.
So not even devotee, not even necessarily bhaktis, you know, yogis and any, you know, so many different kinds of Indians. But it's noteworthy for me that three of them are Vishnu temples, basically Krishna temples, and then one of them is a Shiva temple, but it's Shiva worshiping Lord Ram, a former Krishna. So that's at least gives me some like faith building, you know, that these are pious places. The four most whatever pious places for Indians and things like that, and then it's all Krishna. It's all Krishna. So let's see. So yeah, going to the Badarik ashram, I have some notes that I will look at here. So okay, so that's yeah. So that we're making a connection. I'm making a connection between Narayana Rishi and um, and Narottam Das Thakur. So might as well switch over to Narottam Das Thakur. So yeah, when I was so today's his appearance day, and I mean Narottam Das Thakur has so many bhajans, and I think in poems and songs that he composed, and then the most recited or most sung one for us is Sri Guru Vandana prayers, and so we sing that every day, you know, in all Prabhupada's temples, and it's sung every day to worship the Guru, and so Narottam Das Thakur, that's why in one verse, one line of the verse is Lokanath Lokera Jivana, because uh, that's Narottam Das Thakur glorifying his spiritual master Lokanath Bhatt, maybe Lokanath. So that's and then we say Prabhupada Lokera Jivana, because then we're glorifying Srila Prabhupada. So well, I find it interesting or noteworthy to see that in the Guru Parampara, the list of 32, that Lokanath's not listed there, and that ahead or you know linked from with Narottam Das Thakur before him, previous is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So which is not so that's not who Narottam Das Thakur took initiation from, official, you know, formal initiation, but it's described that he uh, received much, you know, personal association and, you know, the essence of, you know, initiation or transcendental knowledge, that he received much association from um, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And so my understanding is that whenever Narottam Das Thakur kind of came onto the scene, that Lord Chaitanya was already disappeared from the planet, and also Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, um, they had already disappeared, but had their disappearance pastimes. But Diva Goswami was still, or Nityananda also, and so Gopal Bali, Raghunath Das, maybe both Raghunaths. Um, so Narottam Das Thakur in a personal association with the Goswamis, with Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and also I think I read that with even after Lord Nityananda left, still with Lord Nityananda's good wife Janava Mata, who is like a spiritual master, a female spiritual master, and she was like an instructing spiritual master for Narottam Das Thakur. So. Yeah, so this is Narottam Das Thakur's personal association with the Goswamis. He is listed in our Guru Parampara, and his disciple, Narottam Das Thakur's disciple. First of all, yeah, Lokanath Goswami is the spiritual master of Narottam Das Thakur, and Narottam Das Thakur is the only disciple that uh, Lokanath Lokanath took, that he accepted. And that was a situation where um, basically Narottam Das Thakur had clear intention to be Lokanath's disciple, and he was the only one to be that. And so then down the Parampara, my name is Parampara Das, my spiritual name. So I'm supposed to be servant of the Parampara, so this is good for me to meditate on. And so Narottam Das Thakur's disciple is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is very prolific in his commentaries and a very authoritative commentaries on the Srimad Bhagavatam, and that's one that you can see Srila Prabhupada reference quite often, and that is Srila Prabhupada, one of the main commentaries that Srila Prabhupada was sourcing and meditating on, and you know, and so I think from that connection you can see, because what I was looking at is like wanting to learn, researching, looking up things on Narottam Das Thakur, and we see Srila Prabhupada, he doesn't give much biography or details or pastimes of Narottam Das Thakur, but he references him heavily, often, and authoritatively. And he says, the Narottam Das Thakur, he composed these poems in simple Bengali language, but they're accepted as good as any Vedas, any Sanskrit mantras, any Vedas. And and my kind of understanding that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is one of the main, as his disciple, as Narottam Das Thakur's disciples, really establishing that as establishing Narottam Das Thakur's poems and songs as um, as as good as the Vedas, and as so authoritatively. And Prabhupada really makes no difference at all between them whenever he's referencing. If he's referencing one of Narottam Das Thakur's songs, it's just as good as referencing one of the four original Vedas or Srimad Bhagavatam or anything else. And so at least with that, we can get an impression of the position and the personality of Narottam Das Thakur. And so you could go look up things about Narottam Das Thakur if you want to hear about the past times. But what I have is a collection of times where Prabhupada is referencing Narottam Das Thakur, sort of like the teachings of Narottam Das Thakur that Prabhupada really highlights. And so we'll read that. We'll read those. Okay, so this is Srila Prabhupada, mostly from his purports. His first one, actually, I don't know where it comes from, honestly. But most of these are from his Srila Prabhupada's purports, where he's referencing Narottam Das Thakur. The prayers of Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Prabhupada has said, this sound is above the material platform. It is directly from the spiritual platform. And there is no need of understanding the language. It is just like a thunderburst. Everyone can hear the sound of thunder. There is no misunderstanding. Similarly, these songs are above the material platform, and they crack like thunder within your heart. Okay. And there's another one. Anything sung in the praise of the Lord is Shruti mantra. There are songs of Thakur Narottam Das, one of the acharyas in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, composed in simple Bengali language. But Thakur Vishwanathi Chakravarti, another very learned acharya of the same Sampradaya, has approved the songs by Thakur Narottam Das to be as good as Vedic mantras. And this is so because of the subject matter. The language is immaterial, but the subject matter is important. So that's why we can see like Srila Prabhupada's writings in English. Like we accept these as like the Vedas, as the Vedas. So that's an important point also, that the subject matter is, the language is immaterial. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.10.20 purport. There's another one. To raise oneself from hellish life to the highest position of spiritual understanding is to transform this lust into love of Krishna. Yeah. Sri Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya of the Vaishnava Sampradaya, said, Kama Krishna Karma Pane. Due to our lust, we want many things for our sense gratification. But the same lust can be transformed in a purified way so that we want everything for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is an important thing, using what we have in service of purifying our emotions. There's speaking about lust, and then Prabhupada goes on to speak about anger. Anger can also be utilized towards the person who is atheistic or who is envious of the personality of Godhead. As we have fallen into this material existence because of our lust and anger, the same two qualities can be utilized for the purpose of advancing in Krishna consciousness, and one can elevate himself again to his former pure spiritual position. Srila Rupa Goswami has therefore recommended that because in material existence we have so many objects of sense gratification which we need for the maintenance of the body, we should use all of them without attachment for the purpose of satisfying the senses of Krishna. That is actual renunciation. It's from Srimad Bhagavatam 3.31.29. So this is especially for us, Sattva kind of people, using emotions and transforming our experience and offering it to Krishna, and that Prabhupada references that from Narottam Das Thakur, that this lust can be purified, transformed in a purified way. Okay, another one. Lord Chaitanya, who always preached non-violence, meekness, and humility, also became angry when Nityananda was offended by Jagai and Madai, and he wanted to kill them. When Vishnu or a Vaishnava is blasphemed or dishonored, one should be very angry. Narottam Das Thakur said, Krodha Bhakta Dvese Jana. We have anger, and that anger can be a great quality when directed against a person who is envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotee. One should not be tolerant when a person is offensive towards Vishnu or a Vaishnava. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4.10. So again, using our anger, spiritual purpose of anger. Prabhupada's referencing Narottam Das Thakur for that. But healthy, inappropriate use of anger. Srila Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, advises us not to travel to different places of pilgrimage. Undoubtedly, it is troublesome to go from one place to another, but one who is intelligent can take shelter of the lotus feet of Govinda, and thereby be automatically sanctified as the result of his pilgrimage. Yes, the Prabhupada goes on to speak there. Yeah, like it's the pure devotee, the presence of the pure devotee. That's the place of pilgrimage, and that you can render service anywhere. So it's like an important principle that that he's referencing Narottam Das Thakur for that, not to travel to different places of pilgrimage, but that the principle there that remain anywhere in the universe, and that place of the universe immediately becomes a sacred place where he can peacefully render service to the Lord as the Lord desires, as long as that pure devotee remains there or resides there. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.6.25. Okay, another one. Gaudiya Vaishnavas therefore worship Srila Gurudev, the spiritual master, in the light of his being the servitor of the personality of Godhead. In all the ancient scriptures of devotional service and the more recent songs of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and other unallied Vaishnavas, the spiritual master is always considered either one of the confidential associates of Srimati Radharani or a manifested representation of Srila Nityananda Prabhu. It's from Adi Lila 1.46. So there's the songs of Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prabhupada's making really no distinction between them. They're like of the same quality. Okay, here's the last one. After the disappearance of Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavan, Srila Jiva Goswami became the Acharya of all the Vaishnavas in Bengal, Orissa, and the rest of the world, and it is he who used to guide them in their devotional service. In Vrindavan, he established the Radha Damodar temple, where he had the opportunity to live and retire until the age of 65. When, wait a minute, yeah, Prabhupada's speaking about himself. We, he's saying we. It's like the royal we, use of we. So he's speaking about himself. So Jiva Goswami established the Radha Damodar temple, and then Prabhupada had the opportunity to live there and retire until the age of 65, when we decided to come to the United States of America. When Jiva Goswami was still present, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami compiled his famous Chaitanya Charitamrita. Later, Srila Jiva Goswami inspired Srinivasacharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Tuki Krishnadas to preach Krishna consciousness in Bengal. Adi Lila 10.85 Chaitanya Charitamrita. My understanding also is that Narottam Das Thakur was one of the first to preach out, to expand, because Lord Chaitanya wanted to be preached in every town and village, which meant the world. The Prabhupada manifesting that, but to get to there also, there's every town and village in India also, and then the world. So Narottam Das Thakur was one of the first to kind of expand the.
First Sankirtan Party, the fifth book of the six Goswami out of Vrindavan for the first time, the three of them.
Okay, so those three devotees we just mentioned, the first to bring the Goswami's books out of Vrindavan and then into Bengal. Oh, well, then Bengal, yeah.
I think it was
So, and that, my understanding also that Narottam Das Thakur, because he's such a poet and empowered in his songs, that it was in the kirtan that he kind of established a new form of kirtan, or a version of kirtan. That's how he was doing his preaching. So,
in fact, method that Prabhupada is teaching, now done that Thakur's method.
Okay. So it's alive, and it's basically finished. I think that's all I wanted to share about Narottam Das Thakur and this verse. I'll just read it again. Yatra Narayano Devo Narascha Bhagavan Rishi Mridu Tibram Tapo Dirgam Tipate Lokabhavano. There in Badarik Ashram, the personality of Godhead in his incarnation as the sages Nara and Narayan has personality of Godhead has been undergoing great penance since time immemorial for the welfare of all amiable living entities. That's another thing I'm understanding. Badarik Ashram is especially meant for austerity. It's a very austere place. Obviously, you can only travel there during certain months, the summer, and even then, it's great personal inconvenience. And materially speaking, I think it's also a route for people who want to go up to the highest parts of the Himalayas and things like that. But so it's a very austere, and it's a place specifically. There's so many Srila Vyasadeva, um, compiling uh, the Vedas there, and there's many other personalities gone there to do austerities and penance and worship. So it's especially meant for austerity, and it's especially an austere place. Yeah, my understanding. Hare Krishna. I welcome any comments or questions or sharing or discussion about Srila Narottam Das Thakur or his bhajans, his songs. Would you like to share anything about Narottam Das Thakur?
Well, Share Parampara was extremely fond of Narottam Das Thakur. And when he was asked once, what's your favorite bhajan? He say, Aryani Divaya Guru, which was one of the Narottam Das Thakur bhajan. And, reading Narottam Das Thakur bhajan today, so it's really auspicious. Reading, singing, absorbing ourselves there. Yeah. And Gaur Das Babaji Maharaj, he was illiterate, but he knew by heart Bhakti, which is one of the books of Narottam Das Thakur. So he had only two books, and one of those was the only two books he was preaching from.
Who was it?
Gaur Das Babaji Maharaj was the spiritual master of Bhakti Saraswati Thakur.
It's also interesting because Gaur Das Babaji, he only accepted one disciple also, right?
Yeah.
So same thing as Narottam Das Thakur's
Spiritual master. Yeah.
And so because he was not reading, but he just knew them, like he memorized them.
It's unclear.
Yeah.
Unclear. Was he really illiterate? Whereas
or did he just
said that he was not even able to sign his name, so.
Right.
Yeah. So now it that's because Bhajan and the one Prabhupada gave us in his songbook, we want to be familiar with them, the content, and even know how to sing them.
Yeah. Nice. I can sing a bhajan. You want to lead a bhajan? Does anybody have any comments or questions?
That's what we discuss in Bhajan online.
That's what I was going to ask if anybody could hear the bhajan earlier.
It's an interesting tale, those four places.
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada in the purport, you notice it says from the Vaikuntha planet.
Yes.
So they are Vishnu. They are they are Vishnus because one could ask the question, well, why is not Mathura and Navadvip the most important place of pilgrimage? Yeah. It's because not Mathura and Navadvip, they are a replica of Goloka Vrindavan. So, and those places are Vishnu forms. And it is said that all the Vishnu expansion in the Vaikuntha planet, some of them are multi-form that came all over, in fact, all over Earth, but only 4 of them now are visible. And there is no difference between those deities in those four places. They are no different than the Vishnu form in the Vaikuntha planet. They are just direct expansion. And that's why they are so powerful, and that's why a very pious Indians, they go there because they are, like they are seeking liberation.
Right, because Prabhupada specifically mentions, represents the plants of the spiritual sky, which consists of the Brahma Jyoti and the Vaikunthas.
So that's why, because they go there for liberation. They don't go there to worship Krishna. They want one of the 4 of liberation.
Okay.
And those forms are real Vishnu, and they are expansion of the Chaturanga, which are guards of the direction. So you're correct when you were branching out of the direction, south and north and south, and east and west.
And I think that this is perhaps there's something about Shiva guarding the south, right? And even in other places like
even in the spiritual world, Lord Shiva is there.
Yeah. Right. And I think Shiva has even like in Vrindavan, there's like a Shiva in the south.
Shiva.
Yeah. That is in the south?
I don't know if it's in the south, maybe, you know,
Probably.
it's not something I know,
Yeah. Right.
but it's possible. And is also Gopishwar Shiva is guarding Vrindavan. Nobody can enter Vrindavan without his benediction, his blessing.
Mm-hmm.
They are guards. They are like guards coming from the spiritual world.
Yeah. Protecting India too. North, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Earlier, me and Bhakta Tai in the sky gonna try to make this devotional service fly.
Oh, so crazy.
Because it was he and Tyler were on earlier at a certain point. Well, if there's no other comments or questions, could just read a bhajan and
You can read that one, I read it one.
yeah, and that's it. Because there's a certain aspect there. Yeah, Prabhupada really emphasized. Is it in this one?
Often quoted in his classes too.
So we'll read Hari Hari Bifale by Narottam Das Thakur. It has to be in this one. Is there another name?
It's not the name of the song. The name of the song is Ista Defe Vidyapti.
Okay.
Prayer to one's beloved Lord.
Ista Deve Vinyapiti.
Yeah.
Vinyapiti. I found it in here.
Yeah. Prarthana, which is the book that Gopishwar Babaji was carrying with him all the time.
You want to say it?
Oh, we can pick your reading if you want, or you can read yours. Okay.
You start with this.
Oh Lord Hari, I have wasted my life. Although I have taken these rare human births, I have not served Radha and Krishna, and thus I have knowingly drunk poison. Prabhupada quotes those two lines aloud.
The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavan has descended as the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night my heart burns from the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not taken the means to relieve it.
Someone else want to read online? Lord Krishna, the son of King of Raja, became the son of Sakshi, and Balaram became Nitai. The Holy Name delivered all those souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagat and Madai, are evidence of this.
O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Vrishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottam Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? Read the Bengali? Or... But yeah, Prabhupada especially this part about knowingly drunk poison. It's having a human birth and not worshiping Radha and Krishna, wasting a human birth. This is like knowingly drinking poison. Prabhupada really, you can tell he really liked that. He really liked that that part of the song, part of the bhajan.
Yeah, and Prabhupada extensively performed almost all the songs. Like spiritual songbooks, there are so many purports that Prabhupada gives to those songs. There's a song song that's very well known is this thing is in Bangalore. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu.
Read one more and then close, perhaps.
John wants to read.
Hmm. Um, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. Why? You think so?
It's about the form of Sri Goswami in the spiritual world. You can read that one. It's a very nice meditation.
Okay, I'll read that one.
It's stop one.
I'll read it. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. The feet of Sri Rupa Manjari. Yeah, so this is like Narottam Das Thakur. He didn't have a personal association with Rupa Goswami, but still he was Rupa Nuga, follower of Rupa Goswami, and like very devoted in that line.
Yeah, and also this song reveals that he has personal association
Okay.
with Supamanjari.
Okay, right.
He like reveals, like more. It's like you can go further into association.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have the physical, maybe what we would see on the planet
Mm-hmm.
association, but he did have a
He
spiritual
has a
association.
special affinity and relationship.
Mm. Okay, here we go. The lotus feet of Sri Rupa Manjari are my treasure, my devotional service, and my object of worship. They give my life meaning, and they are the life of my life. They are the perfection of rasa, and they are perfection worthy of attainment. They are the very law of the Vedic scriptures for me. They are the meaning of all my fasts and penances and my silent utterings of my mantras. They are the basis of religion and activities. By the purifying process of favorable devotional service, one will attain perfection and with these two eyes be able to see. His transcendental form is shining like moonlight in my heart, and my heart therefore shines and reciprocates. In other words, the ordinary moon lights up the night, and its shine illuminates other objects. But the moon of the effulgence of the form of Sri Rupa Manjari shines into the heart and makes the heart also shine back to the spiritual sky. This moon shines not only in the nighttime but day and night. Your absence from my vision is like a dose of strong poison, and I will suffer till the end of my life. Narottam Das Thakur says, please give me your mercy in the shade of your lotus feet. Srila Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Hare Krishna.